And hello, my fellow nerds out there. And yes, happy Pokemon Day to everyone out there. Yep, you heard right. Today is Pokemon Day, February 27th. And I just watched the recent Pokemon Presents, and I'll tell you my reactions were pretty much off the walls, I won't lie. I was not expecting them to do what they had actually done. But for this video, I wanted to do something a little bit different from my usual gameplay. And it is going to be a bit of a double upload today, so I'm going to be doing Underfell, and I'm going to be uploading this at the same day. So, what we have here is a website for an ultimate favorite Pokemon picker. Now, I've never actually done this before. I've seen other people have done this, so surely my opinions will come across well. Hopefully they're well received at least. But anyways, I wanted to do something different for today. I usually don't do these kinds of things because it usually requires script writes and all that, and I don't like writing a whole script for everything. But I'm here with the Ultimate Pokemon Picker, and I'm gonna be explaining each of my favorite Pokemon of each type from each generation, and then we'll go to the bottom area and figure out things from here. So, starting off with Generation 1, favorite normal type. And Gen 1 had a lot of normal types. I'm not gonna. And I will not lie, my favorite normal type of Gen 1 has to be Eevee. I know, basic pick, but normal's a basic type, so what are you gonna do? Do. Favorite fire type. It's actually gonna be kind of a weird thing, but I actually don't really like Charizard too much. I mean, yeah, I like it, but it's not my favorite. Favorite fire type in Gen 1, dude, it has to be Arcanine. It's always been Arcanine. I kind of liked it. I actually got 3 shiny Hisuian Growlithes just 2 days ago, so yeah, you can say my love for this Pokemon has increased, especially since I got his shiny Hisuian form. Water type, and oh my god, look at the abundant water types. My god, as much as I do appreciate Lord Helix, I do like the Dome Fossil a little bit more. But I think I might say that for rock type. So honestly, favorite water type gotta be Poliwhirl. I'm not choosing Vaporeon for obvious reasons because the internet had to ruin it. anywho, favorite grass type. Obviously, Bulbasaur. You can't get rid of my favorite Bulby. Okay, he's my favorite. Okay, electric types. Wow, we were very limited on electric types back then. I'm gonna say Zapdos. I like Zapdos in Gen 1. And yes, the video is gonna be pretty long, I suppose. But if I'm going over every single thing. But I've seen PM7 and MNG TV's videos on this kind of thing, so hopefully my opinions will be respected and not trashed on. Okay, ice types. Um, Come on, I gotta pick Articuno. Why wouldn't I pick Articuno? It's literally one of my favorite Gen 1 ice types. And sure, it may not have been the best ice type, but 4 times weak to rock, who cares? It's a cool looking ice type, and I liked what they did with its Galarian form in the future. Okay, fighting type. My god, we were limited. I always liked Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee, it kind of stuck out to me as a weird fighting type. It's like most fighting types have human characteristics. I just look at this guy as a kid, like, where is his mouth? Where is this thing's mouth, even? How does it eat? uh, Anyways, poison types. And yep, Kanto had a lot of poison types. My god. Um, I guess I'm willing to say my favorite poison type probably Venomoth. I don't know. I don't know something about Venomoth that I just like, but probably also because it was one of the first shinies that I got in the down in the what's it called? Area Zero. Yeah, I can't think of it sometimes. Yeah, Area Zero is probably first place I got a shiny Venomoth, and I've treasured Venomoth ever since. Ground type, and wow, we actually had a lot of ground types. Favorite ground type, my personal opinion, has to be Cubone. It has a sad origin story, and honestly, I felt very bad for it. I kind of want to give it a hug. Flying type. Got, gotta say, flying types, I don't really have much affinity for them. Although I although I guess Team Sky would like to have a word with me if I didn't have an affinity for them. But if I had to pick my favorite flying type, I suppose just as a joke, I kind of like Farfetch, like jokingly, but also very seriously. It's a joke Pokemon. It's based on the phrase "a duck comes bearing leek," meaning that it's supposed to be a phrase that means a solution to your problems isn't just gonna magically appear. Hence, hence why the Pokemon is rare. Although it's a very weak Pokemon, so I don't understand why it's even rare. Hey, Psychic type. Psychic types, this should be very quick and easy. Opposite to Mikey, I actually kind of like Drowsy. It was actually funny enough, Drowsy was actually the very first shiny Pokemon that I ever got. And yeah, I never, it was in Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver, and that's why I kind of like it. Although I don't like how people, I don't really like Drowsy the way that people ship Drowsy and Mikey. Yeah, no, I don't like Drowsy that much. I just find it really cool, and plus it was my first ever shiny, so I'm never gonna forget it. Bug types. Kanto had some very pathetic bug types. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know. I kind of like Paris and Parasect, and I'm just gonna go with Parasect for now because. And yeah, I know. Gen 1, he was 4 times. He had 4 times weaknesses. One to fire, one to flying, and one to poison for some reason. But I actually accidentally found a shiny Paris there while I was looking for Xurkitree in Pokemon Sun, and yeah, I kind of just kept it, and it became a very endearing Pokemon to me. My love for Parasect is more recent than other Pokemon in this list here. I kind of liked Eevee. I liked Bulbasaur ever since I first saw it, and I liked Eevee since I watched the Battling Eevee Brothers episode. Parasect is more recent. Okay, Rock type. Honestly, Kabuto. I'm sorry, Lord Helix lovers, but I do not like Lord Helix all too much. He's just not really doing it much for me. Also, editor, do you think you have some music here? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good Pokemon lo-fi music to set the mood for the Kanto region. I probably should have put some music on earlier. Hopefully my editing self doesn't forget that. Anywho, ghost types. Wow, not very many choices, huh? I'm just gonna go Haunter. I don't know. I kind of like Haunter a bit more than Ghastly and Gengar, especially since it's illogical how Ghastly itself can punch. But anyways, I look at Haunter and yeah, it's kind of one of those Pokemon. It's one of those awkward middle stage evolutions, but it's one that you kind of tend to like, especially since Ash technically had one in the anime, even though he didn't own one. Anyways, Dragon types. There's literally only one option. I can't pick anything else. Yeah, Dratini's cute, Dragonite's majestic, but Dragonite is pretty interesting. especially since the theory goes that it and Gyarados were actually swapped during development. And you know, I always had my personal love for Dragonite ever since the first movie. Dark types. We don't have any dark types in Kanto. They don't exist. Steel types. There's only 2 options, and I'm gonna get to go with Magneton. I can't pick much. Fairy types? Honestly, I don't really know. I don't really know. And I guess when it comes to fairy types, I kinda like Mr. Mime. Yeah. Mr. Mime was kind of a goofy Pokemon in all of the Kanto series, especially since Delia owns one, and we get to see it later on in the Journeys arc when Ash uses it to battle. And we also know it's confirmed moveset. That Mimi's confirmed moveset is, I believe it's Psychic, Reflect, Focus Punch. I'm pretty sure the last move is Barrier, because we saw it use Barrier during the episode it debuted in. Anywho, favorite starter, Venusaur. You know what? Nothing's gonna replace Venusaur. It's my favorite starter. I love this big boy, and and any problem you have, you just solve it with Venusaur. Sure. Well, you need a bulky set, Venusaur. An offensive set, Venusaur. Support set, Venusaur. I believe Ari and Wombu explain this better in their Pokemon starter tier list, which yeah, I highly recommend you go and watch that one as well. But yeah, Venusaur is my favorite. As you can tell from my favorite grass Pokemon, Venusaur is gonna be my favorite starter by a long run, especially since it was the only one to have a dual typing. Anywho, favorite gimmick form, and I'm guessing, well, gimmick forms didn't really exist in Gen 1, so I think it'd be cheating for me to pick one of these. But if I had to pick one, I don't know. I guess Gigantamax Butterfree or Gigantamax Venusaur. You know what? Gigantamax Venusaur. Why not? I liked it. It's cool. Gen 1 Legend. My favorite one, funny enough, actually wasn't Mewtwo. I love Mewtwo. It's cool. I love its story, its backstory, its connection with Mew, but Articuno was my favorite legend. And favorite of all time from all of my favorites? Oh, that's such a hard choice. I actually don't really know. No, I guess my favorite one of all time, you know, it has to be Bulbasaur. Favorite Gen 1 Pokemon of all time is Bulbasaur. I can't replace my favorite Volby. Anywho, Gen 2. And hey editor, can we get some Gen 2 lo-fi music, please? Thank you, editor. Okay, oh wait, yeah, I'm the editor. Anyways, Generation 2. Finally starting off in pretty much my home region. I am indeed a Johto baby. I was never really a Kanto person. The first game I ever owned was actually Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I guess one of the first normal types that you come across is Centric. And yeah, I do like Furret love. Furret getting a lot more love from the community now that I think about it. But honestly, my favorite normal type of Gen 2, it was actually Apom. Yeah, kind of a weird twist there, isn't it? No one really would expect me to pick the funny hand monkey, but you know, I thought Apom is a pretty cool Pokemon. Also, wait, hold on. Let me see if I can get better resolution for this recording. Hold up a second. There we go. Just had to fix that up real quick. Anyways, yeah, Apom. It was actually the first Pokemon I saw in the Pokemon movie 3, and it was a new one at that. At least to me, it was. We didn't really have any of the Johto tapes growing up. We only have the original Kanto series. So when I saw Apom, I thought, you know, it looked pretty cute. And it was one of the first one that the new Apom trainer actually used, of course, because why not? Unless it was the third one that she used, I don't remember. But anywho, yeah, Apom, very fun Pokemon for a normal type. Anyways, favorite fire type, and honestly, I don't really know. My opinions are pretty obscure when it comes to my favorite Pokemon of each type, but if we're limiting it to just the Johto region, I don't know. I guess Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil wasn't really my first Johto starter, but I'll get to that in a few seconds. But I thought Cyndaquil was pretty adorable, especially since Ash had one in the anime. Anyway, although I will say my love for it has waned in the recent times, because my god, shiny hunting for this thing in the Paldea games is ridiculous. It only spawns in one location, and it doesn't even spawn that much in the only location that it spawns. What was Pokemon thinking with this one? But aside from that, Cyndaquil is an adorable little cutie. Also, please, can somebody please give me a life-size Cyndaquil plush? I would love you unconditional. Anyways, moving on to water types. Yeah, Johto had a few more water types, and really happy it did. And honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest, favorite water type was Lantern. I thought it was a pretty interesting Pokemon. I saw Chinchou, and then when I evolved it in the Johto games, I was pretty much pleased with its evolution. It looked really nice. But it was also at the same time I was an MNG TV fan. I still am an NJTV fan, and I like Lantern even more because of him. Plus, he's wearing a superhero mask. Who wouldn't like the superhero mask? Okay, grass types. And... oh my goodness. Grass types. Oof. I honestly don't really know what to say here. Yes, I like the living piece of chicory. Who cares? I like Chikorita, and a little bit of a story behind this. Chikorita was actually the first starter I ever chose. Yeah, you never forget your firsts. That saying goes a long way. And Chikorita was my first grass-type starter my first starter in any Pokemon game. It was the first starter I picked in the mainline series games because I like the grass type. And yes, I picked it despite it being weak to the first two gyms, which were Flying and Bug. Chikorita was hard mode for those who went to Johto. I mean, but once you get past Flying and Bug types, it's really not that hard of a game. And in case any of you are wondering, I beat Whitney on my first try. And yes, I know in the remakes she was made kind of harder because you can't cheese her with a ghost type, but honestly, I couldn't care less. Whitney isn't that hard. I literally beat her with... I literally beat Whitney with a freaking Togepi. A Togepi. Also, why isn't Togepi in the normal list? In the fairy list then? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I beat Whitney's Miltank with a Togepi. I don't want to hear anybody complain that she's too hard. Anyways, moving on to electric types. Don't want to get off topic. Ampharos. Ampharos is just one of those electric types that gets introduced, and then not many people remember it until it gets a buff in a later gen. In this case, being Gen 6, it got its Mega Evolution, which changed it to an electric dragon type. Although, my love for Ampharos actually comes from the story of Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver, where Amphi, the Ampharos, is sick and you need to go get medicine for it. And I never really used an Ampharos in my team, but I did kind of like it, especially every time it appeared in the anime. I thought it was just a nice little cutie, and yes, it definitely deserved to learn Thunder Punch. But overall, yeah, Ampharos is just adorable, and I love it. It's cute. Anyways, ice types. Johto had very few ice types. I don't know. It's kind of a weird pick, but I kind of like Delibird. Delibird is another weird pick of mine, especially since I'm a Johto baby, and I liked all the obscure things that Johto had to offer. So you can imagine how happy I was when we got a Christmas Pokemon that is Delibird, and not the alternative. Yeah, no, we don't talk about games. even in my own head, I don't even talk about Jinx, and even though it does kind of deserve an evolution, but I'll get into that some other time. But yeah, back to Delibird. My Delibird love has actually been a bit more recent because, funny enough, Delibird was actually one of the first full odds shinies I actually found in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's not my first shiny ever, that title goes to Drowsy. But, something about Delibird I just really like. I like Delibird. It's really cute, and I think, okay, maybe not cute, but it gets a couple of buffs here and there, especially access to Drill Peck and a few ice moves aside from its main move, Present, which can either damage or heal you. Yeah, it's a 50-50. Anyways, fighting types, and good lord, Johto did not have that many fighting types. Now this might surprise quite a few of you, but my favorite fighting type was actually Hitmontop. Okay, maybe it's not that surprising if we were just restricting it to just Johto Pokemon. I mean, seriously, we only have 3 options. Hitmontop is the only other option I could pick aside from Heracross, who I will probably get to later. Now, Hitmontop was a bit like Hitmonlee. He was more of a kicker than a puncher, but getting this evolution was super tricky. In order to do that, you had to make sure that Pyro's attack and defense were equal. Now the way Tyrog evolves is actually very unique. If its attack is higher than its defense, it becomes a Hitmonlee. If its defense is higher than its attack, it becomes a Hitmonchan. At least I think that's how it goes. I don't know, it could be the opposite, but if attack and defense are balanced, then you get a Hitmontop, which is the middle ground third option. And I guess my love for Hitmontop is also a bit more recent, but I also liked Hitmontop a lot when I first saw it. It was just one of those Pokemon that no one really cares about, but it was one that I cared about because no one else would care about it. Anywho, poison types, and my goodness, very few. Again. But would you guys find it weird if I told you I liked Quillfish? Because I really did like Quillfish back then. It was a poisoned pufferfish, and yeah, we actually have those in real life. I was like, wow, Quillfish is kind of different and unique. Just kidding. Its stats are actually completely garbage. I'm so glad that recent years have treated it nicely, giving it a brand new poison and dark type in Hisuian Quillfish and its evolution over Quill. And it's another one of those cases of nobody else cares for this Pokemon, so I guess I will care for it. I mean, Quillfish, it wasn't really that bad of a Pokemon. It just wasn't really good. It did have a small niche as a Toxic Spike setup, but that's more competitive Pokemon than actual just liking the Pokemon. So yeah, Quillfish is my favorite poison type. Moving on, ground types. And honestly, Johto had quite a few of them. Well, let's face it, you all know I'm gonna pick Donphan. Why wouldn't I pick the one Pokemon that was shown off in the first movie as a first look to Johto? You know, aside that other looks to Johto have been shown before, Ho-Oh and Togepi being thy names. But Donphan was our first true experience of a Johto Pokemon. Although it still baffles me to this day that in the first movie, Ash sees this brand new Johto Pokemon and doesn't even think to pull his Pokedex out to check it. Like, you can't tell me actually you know what a Donphan is. There's no way you know. Anyways, Donphan, when I first saw it in the Pokemon movie, was just one of these bulky looking Pokemon that I took a very big fondness over. And for a good majority of my life, I pretty much treasured it. Donphan was just that one Pokemon. It's like, wait, this wasn't in the Kanto games. What is this Pokemon? And you know what? You'd be right about that, because it wasn't a Kanto Pokemon. It was a Johto Pokemon. And from there, I honestly really liked it. It was very nice design. I liked the tusks, and I really did like that Johto was getting a lot more love than Paldea. You can tell I'm a Johto baby just from this list alone. Anyways, flying types. Johto flying types. And this is gonna be very weird, or it's actually gonna be a very weird and odd pick, I suppose, or out of left field, some people might say, but I actually really like Noctowl. And no, it's not because Ash himself had a shiny Noctowl. I really like Noctowl quite a lot, and not only because of the anime. It was one of the regional birds that really stumps me to this day on why Faulkner himself doesn't have a Noctowl in the Johto games. Like seriously, 3D Johto remakes, give Faulkner a Hoot and a Noctowl, not a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto. No Kanto Pokemon, just give the gym leaders Johto Pokemon, please. I am begging you. You're already refusing to use what you have. Anyways, ranting aside, Noctowl was a Pokemon that actually was one of the first that had it going that 3 typings could work for it. It could have been a flying psychic type like Lugia, but nope, normal flying. This is basically a continuation of the normal flying trend that started in Kanto and continues to this day. Hey, Noctowl literally could have been a cool psychic type. Or, give it a regional variant where it does become a psychic type, like they did with Braviary. But no, it's just... Honestly, Noctowl deserves more love. Anyways, Johto psychic types. Oh my god, they categorize the freaking unknown each as their own. own psychic types. And honestly, I didn't really like the unknown too much. Yeah, no, my favorite psychic type in the Johto region was probably Girafarig. It's not because of any recent love for it that got its evolution for Rigoraph, but Girafarig was also another Pokemon in the line of people didn't care about this Pokemon, so I'm caring about it for them because it deserves love. Girafarig wasn't anything particularly special, but it did have a pretty unique mix attack set, even though its special attack is probably higher. Again, not my competitive Pokemon is not my niche, but what is my niche is just loving Pokemon for who they are, for what they are exactly. And Girafarig was one of those Pokemon. I did see the Psychic type episode that featured Girafarig heavily in it. You know, the one with Team Rocket had a giant Gengar robot. And Girafarig just grew to me as this one Pokemon that I attached to solely because of its awkwardness. And heck, its beta design looks really cool. Now, on to bug types. And you guys might find this kind of odd, but Heracross, as much as I love it, isn't really my favorite Johto bug type. You know, that title actually goes to Ledian. Yeah, I know, Ledian. Ledian is actually very, very freaking pathetic, but especially in the stats department. But you know what? I love Ledian. It was a cute little quirky bug Pokemon that nobody really cared about. And especially since there was another one of those bug Pokemon that was kind of like Butterfree, a hold me over Pokemon so you get something better. And then people mostly boxed it and never used it. And plus, its movesets were terrible, especially its abysmal attack stats. It did get a buff and getting the Iron Fist ability in Gen 3, but still doesn't really help it. Although I really like Ledian. It was one of the first Pokemon that I saw one of the first Johto Pokemon that I saw in the Pokemon Special Mewtwo Returns. And yes, Special Mewtwo Returns is not a movie, it is a feature-length episode of the anime. So yeah, kind of weird there, isn't it? And yeah, this is gonna be a very long video, especially since we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more generations to cover, plus all-time favorites. So I'm gonna try to get through this as quickly as possible. Favorite rock type of Johto? It was Sudowoodo. I like Sudowoodo. It was cool. It was funny. Funny little roadblock that you can get relatively early in the game, at least before Goldenrod. And plus it would know a fighting type move right away in the form of low kick. So of course I used it against Whitney. Ghost type. There's really only one option. I liked Mischievous, even though it was post game. Dragon types, only one option. And I can't say I didn't like Kingdra, but my god, what? I'm getting ahead of myself by saying this, but Juan's Kingdra was so annoying. Double Team is my nightmare. Anyways, dark types. And very dark type has to be Murkrow. I don't know. I guess I didn't like all the evolutions that much, but I don't get me wrong, I love Espeon and Umbreon a lot, but they're just other Pokemon that deserve some more love. And you know, Girafarig and Murkrow deserve more love than people think they do. Anyways, Steel type. My favorite Fortress. I don't know. There's something about Fortress that I just really like. It's a little bagworm in a shell with artillery cannons. Nothing else to it. Fairy types. And oh, I've been waiting to get to this one. Sit down, people, because this is going to be a long explanation. I'll try to simplify as many things as I can. Fairy type. It's Gramble. And for those of you who don't know, Gramble wasn't actually a fairy type back then. Back then in the Johto region, it was a normal type. So I'm really, really happy that nowadays it's gotten a buff as a fairy type. And plus, it's now super effective against dragon types, which it was not very good against back then at all. And I don't know, I kind of just grew fondness over Gramble as time went on. Kind of like how Mikey liked Cast Form. Castform or Sceptile, whichever one. I know he likes Sceptile immediately off the bat, and Castform was the one that had to grow on him a bit more. But for me, Gramble to me is basically Castform to Mikey. My love for Gramble had to grow over time, and as the more I saw it, the more I kind of liked it. Especially its pre-evolution Snubble. If I consider Snubble here an honorable mention, I liked Gramble. It was cool. I liked it. It was one of those awkward Pokemon that nobody really knew how to use, and nobody really cared for it. But I loved it. And plus it reminded me of my dad's old dog Pizza. Rest in peace, buddy. In which I actually got a I believe my love for Gramble came from playing Sun and Moon, or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where my old brother and friend Marcus, I'm just gonna call him Marv for short. Marcus himself actually got me a Gramble, and I used that on my team for a good while. And just so you know, I had to have him nickname it for me because I couldn't name it. So we decided to name her Betty, and Betty had been a very staple member of my team for quite a long time actually, during the entire Alolan arc, or actually, well, my Alolan arc at least. And I grew fond over Betty. She was cool. I liked her, and she had a diverse move pool. Seriously, this dog can learn Fire Blast, Rock Tomb, and Outrage, along with Play Rough for stab super effective and variety of move coverage. What's not to like about Gramble? I mean, I'm probably the only person in the world who likes Gramble. Anyways, favorite starter. And I can't lie, Chikorita is my favorite starter. As you can tell, this is gonna be a pattern for the rest of the entire list, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Johto gimmick form, and most of these are just megas. Honestly, I didn't like all the megas too much, but I guess the one that did catch my eye was Mega Heracross. I mean, what else is to say about it? It's still bug fighting type, but it gains this really cool look, and it gets a very big attack stat. My god. What were they thinking when they made Megas? Anyways, Mega Heracross, yeah, I liked it. It's not my absolute favorite, but I liked it. Favorite legendary? Ooh. This is actually very difficult for me because I liked all the legendaries equally. I can't just choose one. But if I have to pick one, I'd probably say my favorite legendary, if we're including mythicals, or well, even if we're including mythicals, is Ho-Oh. I mean, it was in the first episode of the anime, yeah, obviously, but you know, Heart Gold was my first game, and this thing was the first legendary that I ever caught. So you know what? I was really happy about it. And can we just also give a bit of a shout out to its shiny form? My god, the golds and silver colors I love them. It looks so good. So yeah. Anyways, favorite of all time compared to all of these Pokemon, it has to be Gramble. I can't just shun my little fairy dog. She's just too good. I love her. And yes, I love Gramble even more than Ho-Oh and Chikorita. I'm sorry, you two, but my goodness, my love for Gramble just kind of grew. Anyways, on to Gen 3. Here we go. Generation 3. Favorite normal type of Gen 3. Wait, why did they include the purple Kecleon? Oh wait, are they including Mystery Dungeon as well? Alright, well, it'll be kind of a weird pick, but my favorite normal type of Gen 3 was Kecleon. I mean, yeah, I did also become a fan of Castform, but that's more recent. Kecleon was just one of those weird normal types that nobody really knew what to do with, but you know what? I liked it. Maybe it's because green's my favorite color, but I don't know, I gotta say, I love the green. It's a nice little touch, although I really do think the shiny form could have been the purple one. Actually, wait, what would the purple shiny look like? Yeah, go figures. So yeah, Kecleon's one of my favorite normal types in Gen 3. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just really cool, really quirky, really unique, and its camouflage ability was really nice. Anyways, fire type. And honestly, if I picked Blaziken, then I would just be sharing the spotlight with many other Pokemon trainers. So I'm not gonna pick Blaziken. Instead, my favorite fire type was Torkoal. Yeah. And yeah, this is actually because Ash is Torkoal in the anime. You're welcome, by the way. So, and talking about Torkoal on this sort of level is just, I don't know. I really like Torkoal. It's a very unique Pokemon, a fire turtle. No, that's something they haven't done before. You don't really see any other fire turtles back in Gen 1 and 2, so this was basically a start. And they really nailed it. Especially when Gen 3 introduced abilities and decided to cleverly give it the ability Drought, meaning its fire type moves got even stronger. But let's just be honest. I saw Torkoal as a big crybaby, and you know I still love him to this day. He deserves all the love. Anyways, water type, and yes, the joke is there. Owen has too much gosh darn water. But out of all the water types in Hoenn, who is my favorite, you ask? It's Corphish. Come on, we all know it's Corphish. You guys probably saw this one coming from a mile away. Or you guys just didn't expect it. But yeah, Corphish is my favorite. And again, it's because Ash had one in the anime. Corphish just seems like one of those Pokemon that you don't really think about much when you think of Gen 3. Because it kind of looks like it could have been a Johto Pokemon. But nope, it's Hoenn. Although its dex entries do say that it was imported from another region, so what am I to say about it? Corphish itself is just, I don't know. It was one of the first good crustacean Pokemon we had. You know, aside from Krabby and Kingler, who are the only crabs to exist until Gen 3. Aside from that, Corphish is just one of those Pokemon that I just really like, and honestly wouldn't mind using it on my team. Anyways, moving on to grass types. I don't really have much to say for water types, but if I had to pick... Oh wait, also, I had to say one more thing about Corphish. Its role in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky was very funny. He was the hey guy, in case any of you don't remember. Anyways, grass types. You know, I gotta pick my boy Grovyle. Grovyle, I just like him. He's cool. And this is actually not because of the anime, funny enough. It's actually because of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, where he was technically an antagonist turned protagonist. and considering that Grovyle just looked awesome in Mystery Dungeon, and he was treated so much cooler in that game. I don't know, I just liked him a lot. And I always had a very fun time whenever I had to battle against him or battle alongside him. Heck, he even gets his own side story when he goes back to the future with Dusknoir. Anywho, favorite electric type. Funny enough, my favorite electric type was actually Plusle. And Minun to some extensions as well. Plusle and Minun were the Pika clones of that generation. I know what you're thinking. There's two of them? But, yeah, there was two of them. And I like Plusle. I was a very positive kid, so I kind of drew myself to positivity. And Plusle was positivity. So I always kind of saw Minun as sort of the grouch, and Plusle being like the very positive, up-cheery one. Even though they're both technically the cheer Pokemon. Or cheering Pokemon? I don't remember. But yeah, I thought Plusle was adorable, and it's probably going to be the only Pika clone in this entire list. Now, favorite Gen 3 Ice type. Not many choices, but honestly, I have to go with Glalie. Glalie does get a Mega Evolution later on, and it's just one of one of the few ice types of the Hoenn region that I actually come to like. And yeah, again, it's because Ash had one in the anime. But I don't know. I also thought it was very funny that Galarian itself couldn't learn Scary Face. Yet Smoochum could. Like, why did they not think Galarian Face was scary? I don't get it. Anyways, favorite fighting type, and staying away from starters and obvious picks, my favorite fighting type was actually Medicham. I liked it. It was a very unique fighting type, and I remember when Ash had to battle one in the anime. I'm pretty sure he used a Snorlax to go against it, which was a very terrible type matchup, but he did end up being the Medicham. Also, this is also from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Love. Medicham was actually one of the members of Team Charm. In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explore the Skies bonus story, here comes Team Charm, where it was alongside a Lopunny and a Gardevoir, to which I will get to them later. If I do pick them, I don't know, you'll see in the video. Anyways, yeah, Medicham, I thought it got like a whole Dhalsim vibe going on. You know, the guy from Street Fighter who stretches his limbs to completely ridiculous proportions. Anyways, yeah, Yoga Combat I thought was pretty cool. Poison type of Gen 3, I actually kind of like Swalot a lot. I don't know. Swalot's just one of those goofy slime Pokemon that nobody really looks at, but looks at twice until you realize, Swalot's actually really good. But until it's not, because it's actually not that great of a Pokemon. But it does have a few niches here and there. And aside from that, it's a very goofy looking poison type. Look at his funny little mustache. It has a funny mustache. Anyways, ground type. Fair ground type. Kind of a weird pick, kind of a sleeper pick too, but I really liked Vibrava itself. Oh, okay. Also, did you guys know that I really don't like Barboach? Like, there's really no reason for Barboach to be around, but it exists, and I'm okay with it, I guess. Plus, the evolution Whiscash had a very funny moment in the anime. But back to Vibrava. Vibrava is another awkward middle evolution. Yeah, you guys are gonna pretty much seeing a pattern when it comes to middle evolutions, aren't ya? But I just kind of like Vibrava. It was one of the first shiny Pokemon that I got in the Indigo Disc, and I really like it. Plus it although it honestly could have been a Dragon Bug type, but nope, Dragon Ground. But when will Pokemon make a Bug Dragon type? I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Flying types. They include Shadow Lugia? Why would they include that? Okay, well technically Cogsam and Dark XD Gale of Darkness were Generation 3. But my favorite flying type is actually Tropius, funny enough. I like Tropius. It's a grass flying type, and I actually have a big affinity for grass types. It's one of my favorite types next to the ghost type, for those of you who don't know. But Tropius is yet another oddball, and especially when you look at it from an objective standpoint. My God, that four times weakness to ice is not kind to it. Although, trust me, the ice type isn't too great in Pokemon. It's only getting a few buffs here and there, and unfortunately getting rid of hail and replacing it with snow. We went from hail yeah to snow no. But anyways, Tropius, favorite flying type. I like this design. Its design is very cool. It has fruit on its chin, and it always makes you think, does it grow fruit in other regions too? Like, you know, aside from bananas? I mean, imagine one having like a pineapple beard. Anyways, yeah, Tropius, favorite flying type. Next, psychic types. And, now, I know what you guys are expecting. You're expecting me to pick Gardevoir, aren't you? And while I do love the Gardevoir line, the internet seems to love the Gardevoir line a little bit too much, and so yeah, that kind of ruined my like for it. No, my favorite psychic type was actually Chimecho, and this is actually again because of Mystery Dungeon. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon was a bit. Explorers of the Sky was a big part of my life because I never had any main series games at the time, and Mystery Dungeon was like one of the first side games I played. So, so seeing Chimecho being the carrying one in the group was just really nice. Chimecho in the group was the one that cooked all the dinners in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon every time you finish a job or mission or exploration or whatever. And plus James's Chimecho was very much a sweetheart in the anime. I really loved the Chimecho. It makes me sad for him to not bring it along with him. Seriously, I could seriously see a dichotomy between all James's Pokemon and Chimecho just competing for his love. I don't know. Anyways, Gen 3 bug types. And honestly, I don't really know. I didn't really like too many of the bug types in Gen 3. They weren't too great, but I guess if I had to pick one, it'd be Shedinja. Yeah, I know, haha, funny 1 HP shell, discarded bug shell that is weak to fire, that doesn't die if you throw a giant dragon energy at it, but dies if you even drop a pebble on its head. Yeah, I know. I really like this thing. I hated this thing when I first saw it, when I first battled against it because its ability Wonder Guard. But once you learn to get around Wonder Guard, you pretty much see it as a very fun Pokemon to battle against, especially since it only has 1 HP. Or unless your Pokemon has the ability Mold Breaker, which ignores its ability or immunities. So yeah, I just like Shedinja because it's just one of those awkward Pokemon that people didn't really know how to get. So the only way to get one is if you evolve your Nincada and then have an open slot in your party for an extra member, and then you'll just have a Shedinja and a Pokeball. Just make sure not to throw it against any rock, fire, or flying types. Or dark types, because it's also weak to dark for some reason. A little fact about me, I actually used to think that bug resisted dark, but nope, I was wrong. Anyways, rock type. Generation 3 rock types. Relicanth. I don't think I should actually explain this one, but I'm going to. You see, Relicanth was just another one of those weird Pokemon, but it was a Pokemon that had its uses, and I don't mean it competitive. In a sense, it was basically used as a key to unlock some post-game content, like to act as one of the Reggies, which you had to learn to read Braille for. By the way, it made me feel like an archaeologist, even though I never really played any of the Hoenn games until the Gen 6 remakes of Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Anyways, favorite ghost type? It's Sableye. I don't know. I kind of like Sableye. My love for it is kind of recent, considering that I actually recently did a dark type only challenge at Pokemon Ultra Moon. Pokemon Sun. It was Pokemon Sun that I did it, and I succeeded. Sableye was a big member of the team. Anywho, favorite dragon type? Honestly, Latios. I can't not pick my boy Latios. We have way more choices in dragon types in Gen 3, and Latios just looked really cool to me. I really like this design, and the fact that it's based on a jet plane along with its sister Pokemon Latias. I don't know. I guess this is because I was a young boy, so I was really naive. Blue for boys, red for girls. But Thankfully, I changed over the years, and I appreciated all color schemes, no matter what. But that's the Pokemon, by the way, because I also kind of like Latias, and I also end up getting Latias in every other game that I get. Why do I always get Latias? not that I don't like Latias, I like it, but I kind of just like its older brother a bit more because it was the de facto cool Pokemon of that region. If you don't count freaking Rayquaza. Because let's face it, everybody and their grandmother likes Rayquaza, and it irritates me. Alright, favorite dark type of Gen 3. This one's a no-brainer, Absol. I love Absol. This is probably because I was an edgy 13-year-old boy at the time, but Absol just really spoke to me. And And who can forget that red shiny? My god, it has such a good shiny. But looking at Absol nowadays, it's just still really cool. I really like how edgy it is and how it tries to be a foreboding sign, like it's warning you of something. That's literally what its text actually says. And how other people detest it as a bad omen, but there's some people that actually do like it, and like it because it warns you of disasters. It doesn't bring disaster. And up next, steel types. And this might be a sleeper pick, but my favorite steel type was Mawile. Yeah, I was that one kid who looked at Mawile and like, yeah, that's a cool Pokemon. Surely it's very useful. It was not useful, but you know what? I like Mawile. It had a giant mouth that reminded me of a piranha plant, and it had a really good origin for its design basis. It's a very cool Pokemon, and I wouldn't replace it for anything else, unless that Pokemon is Gramble, in which yes, I would replace it. Next, Fairy type, and yeah, Gen 3 didn't have many Pokemon that became Fairy type, aside from Azurill, of course. And because I don't like doing repeats, yeah, Gardevoir was my favorite Fairy type. Listen, I know I said I wasn't gonna pick Gardevoir during the psychic section, but my god, I like Gardevoir as a Fairy type. I mean, he's cool and all, and I really like the design. Its evolution goes from this little baby Ralts to a Curlia, in which if you just keep it to level 30, it'll become a Gardevoir, which I think is really cool. Gardevoir was a very unique humanoid design, and I really like the dress. It really shows a symbol of femininity. However, you also have to remember that Gardevoir can be male, which I believe is because it's based on female and male ballet dancers, which is nice. I really like looking into some of these origins for the Pokemon in this video. It was really fun. Anyways, favorite starter of the Hoenn region, and if you couldn't tell from my favorite grass types, it's gonna be continuing. My favorite starter was Grovyle. Grovyle, again, I'm an awkward middle stage lover, and so I guess if I were a Pokemon trainer in Smash, it would just be all grass types: Chikorita, Grovyle, and Venusaur, which would be pretty funny. Gimmick form, honestly, Gen 3 had a lot of good Megas. And you guys are probably expecting me to pick Mega Rayquaza or something. To which you are incorrect. I did not like Mega Rayquaza. That thing was broken, annoying, and I fought it everywhere I went online on Pokemon Showdown. I'm actually gonna be honest with you, and I actually really liked Mega Manectric. It was a very unique Mega evolution for its time. Nobody really expected it to get a Mega, but hey, it did. It got the buffs that it so deserved. Anyways, legendary of Gen 3. Honestly, I probably have to go with Regice. Regice was my favorite legendary. I like it a lot. It was simple, funky Iceman that hit you with a block of ice. It's cool. And now my favorite of all time, you know it's Grovyle. Come on. Anyways, Gen 4. Gen 4. We finally made it to Sinnoh, everybody. Lord knows there's a lot of reasons to like Sinnoh. Especially since the Sinnoh arc actually saw Ash at possibly his smartest. Now, let me think. Favorite normal type. It's kind of... And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, his favorite is Bidoof, his favorite is Staraptor, his favorite is Lopunny. Listen, I'm going to explain those right off the bat. Bidoof is not my favorite normal type. It's goofy, and I like how funny it is, but it's mostly just a meme and nothing else. Staraptor, yeah, it was cool, especially when Ash had one in the anime, but kind of an obvious pick. Lopunny. Just go back in the video and see my reasons for why I didn't pick Gardevoir as my favorite psychic type. You'll know why. The internet likes Lopunny a bit too much. No, I'm actually gonna say my favorite normal type of Gen 4 was actually Porygon Z. It was it was the third stage of the Porygon line, and even though the Porygon line was banned from the anime for quite a long time, we still got updates on them in the games. And Porygon Z was actually a very awkward update. But you know what? I liked it. It was zany, it was funny, and I liked how it looked. Plus the way it moved in Pokemon Battle Revolution was really cool. It was a unique mix of a special attacker and could also do but it could also do physical attacks thanks to its ability download. And what's more is that Porygon Z has a really cool shiny form. I'm not gonna lie, I like the shiny form of Porygon Z. And aside from that, I just really like it. It's cool. And it's also one of the only Pokemon out there that you can actually get at level 1. Anyways, favorite fire type. Fire type. It may not be obvious, but I actually kind of like Magmortar. It was a very necessary upgrade to Magmar, and especially since Magmar didn't get much love in Gen 3, so it got the evolution in Gen 4. I mean, well, yeah, it got a baby form in Gen 2, but let's just face it, nobody really cares about baby forms. But Magmortar was definitely a necessary upgrade. It no longer had those weird protrusions on its head. And yes, I know that Magmortar is based on an animal that's literally called a booby, but Magmortar is just a nice little upgrade, and a lot. And you know what? Let's put Electivire in favorite electric types. I'm going ahead of myself, but I like Electivire as well. Mostly, probably because Paul had one in the anime, but also because of Mystery Dungeon with Electivire's Link Shop, where you can link 2 moves together and you can do 2 moves in 1 turn, which will make you completely overpowered. Anyways, favorite water type. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but my favorite water type is actually Phione. I really like Phione, okay? Yeah, a lot of people are still debating whether this thing should even be a mythical Pokemon or not, considering you can breed multiple of them. I mean, this would have been fine if Game Freak had limited you to just breeding one Phione per game save file, and that would have been fine. But no, it doesn't feel like it's a mythical that doesn't feel like a mythical. And some people want to test it as not a mythical. But you're forgetting the only way you can get it is by breeding a Ditto with a mythical, Manaphy. I really like Phione, and my love for it has grown quite a lot because, well, I actually beat the entirety of Pokemon Sun using only a Phione. And that is amazing, because I'm pretty sure that's impossible. But I did it, and I won. And just so you know, I was confined to the limits of a legit cartridge, so I could not just emulate the Phione in there. I actually had to breed for a Phione and send it to the game, and then hatch it from an egg so that it would obey me the entire time. Yeah, that's what I did. I did it the legit way, and I'm okay with that because at the end of it, I got my Phione to become a level 87 bulky water type, and I'm very proud of that. Provided I actually have to use quite a few healing items and X items. I am embarrassed to admit that, yes, but it works. And honestly, I really hope more people can love Phione in the future. Anyways, favorite Gen 4 grass type. I'm picking Leafeon. Actually, technically, it's a tie between Leafeon and Shaman. Both Shaman forms, mind you. But yeah, I like Leafeon. And this does kind of break the starter cycle here, but Leafeon is just my favorite evolution in general, and it's my favorite grass type. And while I do think its shiny form could have had a bit more work than just make it lighter, I think it was really cool. Cool, especially for the Pokemon that it is. It's a counterpart to Glaceon, who, well, yeah, probably would have been my favorite ice type, but nobody really talked about Glaceon. But I'll talk about my favorite ice type later. For now, grass type, Leafeon. It's cute. I would want one as a pet. And seriously, you guys, look at how adorable it is. It's probably the cutest little evolution ever, and especially since it represents one of my favorite types. But you know, I'm getting a wee bit ahead of myself. So let's go ahead and just move on to ice types. My favorite ice type, Gen 4, in all honesty, was actually Frostlass. Yeah, I actually did like Leafeon and Glaceon equally, but Frostlass I liked a bit more than Glaceon. So, if you want to know why I like Frostlass, just look at its evolution Glalie and then compare it to Frostlass. Frostlass evolves from Snorunt if it is a female and you use a Dawnstone. Although I guess its caveat is that it likes to kidnap men that it finds handsome. So yeah, you might want to be careful if you own a Frostlass. But you know, aside from that, it's actually pretty cool. Anyways, favorite fighting type of Gen 4, it's Lucario. I had to admit, I kind of liked Lucario when I first saw it. And probably because that when I played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon for the first time, Riolu was the Pokemon that I was playing as. And playing as while Meowth was my partner. And hoping to one day evolve this Riolu into a Lucario, I really enjoyed it. And watching the Diamond Pearl arc in the anime really helped my love for it, especially with its whole power of being able to see aura. And it's actually because of this Pokemon that I got interested into the concept of auras. For example, I believe that my aura is all green. I just think, not because it's my favorite color or anything, I just think my aura is green because specific reasons. I don't know. I feel like auras can change depending on the person, but Lucario sort of just pushes the aura trope of itself just to the perfect height. And also its Dex entry states that that even though it says the auras around it, if it finds out something it doesn't want to know about, it gets nervous easily. Oh no, it's all of us humans. But yeah, I thought its designs was really cool, and its Mega was just, love it. I love its Mega evolution. It's super cool. Anyways, favorite poison type. It was Krogunk. Mostly because of Mystery Dungeon, because of Krogunk's shop and swap. Or swap shop? I forgot what it was called. But yeah, and also the fact that Brock's Krogunk was really funny in the anime. Anyways, moving on. Ground types. Didn't really like many of the ground types of Gen 4, but I guess I'll have to say I want to give some love. I kind of want to give some love to Gliscor. It took Gligar and just improved it in every single way. Not just by design, but also in the stat department. Because my God, did it need a stat boost? Gliscor was also another Pokemon that Ash did own in the anime, but I like Gliscor for different reasons. First of all, I think it's really cool. It gives off a bit of a Batman vibe to it. And the second reason is because its move pool is actually pretty diverse, which I was not actually expecting. But yeah, Gliscor, favorite ground type. Next, flying type, and this is an easy one. It's Shaman Skyform. Mostly because of Mystery Dungeon, because I actually found the post-game Shaman stuff there, and I was actually very surprised. I also like Shaman because of the movie. Yeah, the movie also helped. Favorite psychic type. It was honestly Gallade. Also, I'm gonna say my least favorite psychic type. I hate Tingling. Tingling is my least favorite Pokemon. It should never have existed in the first place. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, I like Gallade. Reasons are pretty obvious. Favorite bug type. If I had to choose any of these, Mothim. I like Mothim. And honestly, if Game Freak had just decided to bring Mothim back, the Burmy line and Mothim back into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, then I could have had a full team of shiny moths, but no. I'm just stuck with Volcarona. Volcarona, its two siblings, and Venomoth. That is all I'm stuck with. Oh, wait, yeah, and Frostmoth. I also forgot about Frostmoth. Favorite rock type? Rampardos. I like it. Favorite ghost type? Spiritomb. Although, why is Spiritomb not a ghost rock type? It's literally fused to a keystone. Favorite dragon type? And oh wow, they actually included Primal Dialga? You know what? Let's go with that. Primal Dialga. Mystery Dungeon. I love Mystery Dungeon. Favorite dark type? Honchkrow. Loved it. Its design, especially its design as a Mafia boss. Favorite steel type? I'll be honest, there's not many steel types I really like, but I kind of like Formidam Trash Glow. I don't know why. 4 times weak to fire, yes, but I like it. Favorite fairy type? Not many choices, but I like Togekiss. Favorite starter? The grass starter thing is never gonna break. I always liked Darkwing. It was cute. Favorite gimmick form? You know, I liked Mega Glade. It was cool. Plus it has a little Yu-Gi-Oh deck as a blade, and I love that. Favorite legendary? I don't care if any of you hate Fion, I love it. And now my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon of all time. This is actually a very difficult decision because I don't really know. I like all of these Pokemon equally. But you know, my favorite Gen 4 is Fion. Okay, it's my favorite of all time when it comes to Gen 4. It's cute, it's adorable, and I like it. Anyways, Gen 5. My favorite Gen 5 normal type. Wait, the Pokestar Studio things were normal type? Ain't no way that thing is a normal type. Anyways, favorite normal type of Gen 5. My god, honestly, not a lot of the Gen 5 designs really stuck out to me. But I guess if I had to pick one, I guess it'd probably be unfair. Probably be Tranquil. I liked it. It was a neat little upgrade to Pidove and a nice little middle stage for the entire line. Favorite fire type? That gate is a fire type? I don't know. I think I'm actually going to explain the fire, water, and grass all at the same time. I really liked the elemental monkeys. Wait, this does kind of break this whole starter. Actually, it doesn't break the starter thing because it was broken by Leafeon. Whoops. Anyways, I was one of the few kids that actually liked the trio of monkeys of fire, water, and grass. I like their designs. They were a bit awkward and a bit lumpy dumpy in the 3D in any 3D games that they're in. But you know, I like them. They're very interesting Pokemon to say the least, and yeah, they're not the best, but I like how they look. I like their personalities in the anime. And I like seeing them in the trading card games. They're really cool. Now, if only we get an electric elemental monkey, that would be cool. Anyways, favorite electric type, it's Zebstrika. I really liked Zebstrika when I first saw it in Generation 5. For those of you who don't know, zebras are actually my favorite animal, and taking a zebra and combining it with one of my third favorite type is a really bold move. I like it. An electric zebra that somehow knows a fire type move. I could never get over that Lisa battle where her Zebstrika knew Flame Charge. Like, why does it know Flame Charge? I just wanted to use the grass type Servine, but no. Anyways, yeah. Zebstrika, favorite electric type. My favorite ice type, kind of a sleeper pick, but I like Cryogonal. It's another Pokemon you don't really think of, and it looks like it's from Gen 6, funny enough, but nah, it's Gen 5. We all kind of just forgot it existed. Favorite fighting type? Why is there a human here? Anywho, favorite fighting type, I'm gonna say it was Sock. I don't know, I just like Sock. It was cool. Favorite poison type? Weird pick, but I like Garbodor. I know, it's not the best one, but I like it. Favorite ground type? Stunfisk. Stunfisk is my favorite ground type for a few reasons, but it's mostly because of Silent Stunfisk in the anime. It had a lot of very funny moments in its own right, and it even had a very cool personality in the anime, being one of the Pokemon that's silently caught from fishing. And that's pretty much about it. Anyways, flying types. Favorite one, Sigilif. Why? I don't know. I just sort of like it. It's zany design. It's very zany in design, and you might think the middle things are eyes, but nope, its eye is actually on top of its head, which is really weird. But I like it. It also gives me really big Aztec vibes with its design. Anywho, psychic type. Uh, this one's a bit of a literal sleeper pick, but I liked Musharna. Musharna was my favorite psychic type. I thought it was really cool. Favorite bug type, and honestly, Unova treated bug types way better than any other generation, before or after it. Although my favorite bug type is actually Durant. Yeah, I like Durant. Even though it's technically 4 times weak to its rival Heatmore over here, but Durant is just one of those Pokemon that you tend to like because it's a steel ant, and I don't know, it looks cool. Even though it might not be that great and competitive, but who cares? I like it. Okay, next one, I'm gonna go do a speed round for this one. The next typing should be easy to cover. Favorite rock type, Archean. Favorite ghost type, Chandelure. Favorite dragon type, Druddigon. Favorite dark type, Zoroark. Favorite steel type, it was actually Ferrothor. Fairy type, all these are explained for a specific reason. One reason only. I like all their designs. They're really cool, and I guess so to get more into detail, Archeops, while a very balanced Pokemon, probably shouldn't be balanced. Its whole point is to be overpowered as all heck, and not nerfed by any specific abilities. But yeah, I get it. It's supposedly powerful, but then get nerfed by the fetus. I get it. It's already strong. Chandelure, I kind of like Chandelure because of Wombo. Yeah, Wombo. Wombo is this guy, in case you guys are wondering. He's this little guy. But in all seriousness, hey, Wombo, if you're watching this video, let's collab sometime. I wouldn't mind doing a Pokemon collab. Anyways, Druddigon. I liked it because it was zany. It looked incomplete, but that's the reason why I like it. Zoroark, obvious reasons. Ferrothorn, I like Grass and Steel. It was really nice typing. Whimsicott, only choice I could ever pick. Alright, and now we're on to starters. My favorite starter Gen 5 was surprisingly not superior. I actually liked Samurott a lot more. And yeah, that breaks the whole grass starter thing that I was doing. But you know what? I like Samurott. It has a whole samurai appeal to it, and I like how its swords were actually called scimitars, which I thought were funny. Favorite gimmick form. Why is all of these from Pokestar Studios? Okay, I'm gonna pick the actual gimmick forms that actually makes sense for my favorite. It was Gmax Garbodor. Somebody threw a Master Ball in there for some reason. Who would throw away a Master Ball? Favorite Legendary Gen 5? It is actually a tie. Because it's a tie between Zekrom and Meloetta. Because Meloetta is one of my favorite mythicals of all time, but Zekrom is the big black dragon that I love a lot. He's cool, he's electric, and I just like his imposing design. But I don't know, I guess Meloetta kind of wins out here. It's my favorite legendary always in Gen 5. And my favorite of all time. Yeah, kind of surprised that none of these aren't really my favorite of all time at all. But Meloetta kind of takes the case. She's perfect. Okay, next, Gen 6. Moving on to Gen 6, my favorite normal type of Generation 6. Kind of a sleeper pick, but I like Furfrou. It has a lot of unique forms, forms that I could pick from, but if I had to be specific about it, I like the Dandy Trim. The green is just a nice type. It was actually this point in my life where I never really played a Gen 6 Kalos game, but you know, I'm hyped for the new one that's coming. So maybe I'll give that one a try and see if I like Furfrou more than I actually do. Favorite fire type of Gen 6? If we're limiting this to just Gen 6 Pokemon, then I like Litleo. It's the first actual fire lion. It was one of the first actual lion Pokemon that we ever got. And before any of you say it, no, Luxray does not count. I know it says somewhat based on a lion, but that doesn't make it a lion, okay? It is not a lion. It's just a giant electric cat. That is all it is. Favorite water type? A lot of people will now you all probably expect me to pick something like Greninja or Mega Blastoise, but no, I like Barbaracle. It mostly for the reason because I got its shiny form in Pokemon Ultra Moon, and that was satisfying. I love its toxic look from the green and pinks. It's just super nice. But Barbaracle is another Pokemon nobody really thinks about. It's 4 times weak to grass for Pete's sakes. It's not even water ground type, it's water rock. But in all honesty, I like this guy. It's so weird and wonky, but that's the whole point of a Pokemon world. Every Pokemon design is weird and wonky in some way. Or in some instances, super adorable. Anyways, favorite grass type. It's Phantom. Why would I not like Phantom? Moving on to electric types. Favorite electric type has to be Heliolisk. Ice type. It was Amora. Amora is super cute. And I'm gonna go ahead and skip to rock type and say Tyrunt is also tied with Amora. It's tied with Amora in like ability. Just skipping ahead and getting that out of the way. Fighting type, Hawlucha. My love for it is also pretty recent because Hawlucha was actually the second full-on shiny Pokemon I found in Pokemon Scarlet. Yeah, a lot of the love is going to come from Scarlet, but who cares? I like Hawlucha. Especially Ashes from the anime. That one was really cool. Although it could be paralyzed, so I'm guessing its ability wasn't Limber. Anyways, poison type. There's literally only one Kalos poison type, Dragalge. Ground type. All these are gimmick forms, and one's a legendary, so I'm gonna go with Diggersby here. Favorite flying type. And this might sound like a bit of a weird choice, but my favorite flying type is actually Vivillon. Specifically this pattern of Vivillon. I love the green. Favorite psychic type. If I did not pick this psychic type, then my friend my friend Specialized Esper would be pretty mad at me. Who couldn't like this little cutie of Esper? And yeah, it does have enough sufficiency to be creepy, but at the same time, it's kind of adorable. It's just a cute little psychic cat that wants to contain all its psychic energy in its ears so it doesn't explode. Yeah, that's a thing. And if you're wondering what my favorite version of Meowstic is, I like the male form. It's my favorite. Anyways, bug types. There's not many bug types to choose from. Yeah, there's a lot here, but I guess Spupa is my favorite bug type. It's a very cute little middle stage evolution, and it also has an appearance in Smash. Favorite ghost type, Trevenant. I love it. Yeah, I didn't like Aegislash like everyone else because it was so busted. I like Trevenant because it was really cool and also kind of busted in its own right. Favorite dragon type. Now we're getting some good options, and since I don't want repeats, my favorite dragon type was actually Goodra. I like it. It was cute. It had enough to be very violent, but also enough to be very adorable and give very cute hugs. I like it. Favorite dark type. Now this might come as a surprise to many of you, but Malamar is actually my favorite dark type. I love this thing. It gets the contrary ability, which makes all of its stat debuffs into stat buffs, and vice versa. So you can just spam superpower with this thing and get +1 attack and defense every time you use it, which is crazy. It's one of those Pokemon that gets stronger at each hit. Anywho, favorite steel type. Again, I didn't like Aegislash all too much. Yeah, it's not. No, it's not because it's an inanimate object Pokemon. I like inanimate object Pokemon, as you can probably tell from some of the picks I have on my list, like Cryogonal, Swalot, Shedinja. But honestly, everyone got the hype train to it, and I didn't want to feel like someone who would just go with the flow. So I like Klefki. Yeah, Klefki was also pretty good and competitive, and it did have that one game-breaking thing that could happen with it. Or was that String Shot? I don't remember. But other than that, I really like Klefki. It's a really adorable Pokemon, very funny prankster, and likes to steal keys from people's homes. Now, it just wanders out like, now they're gonna be locked out of their house and they can't get in anymore. Anyways, fairy type, and Gen 6 had a lot of fairy types since it was the introduction of the fairy type at that time. So, my favorite fairy type of Gen 6, I don't know. I guess it must have been Sylveon. It was pretty much the first Pokemon you see as a fairy type, and it's the one where it's debuted when fairy types were introduced, so it just makes sense. Anyways, favorite starter. Y'all probably thinking I'm gonna pick Froakie, right? Well, you're wrong. I love Chespin. It's adorable little chestnut guy, and I love him. Favorite gimmick form. My god, look at all those megas. Holy crap. So this is just basically pick your favorite mega evolution. Wow. Honestly, I did not think this far ahead, but I guess if I had to pick my favorite mega evolution, I don't know. If I have to pick, I'd probably say Mega Absol. It's literally one of the most beautifully designed megas I've ever seen, and the wings are an absolutely nice touch. Favorite legendary, and honestly, my favorite legendary, as many people probably expected, it's Zygarde. I love this thing. And my favorite of all time from Generation 6, I don't really know. My favorite of all time from Generation 6 is honestly, it's probably Malamar. I don't know. I just have some sort of affinity for Malamar. So I guess if you were taking me on, my full team of 6 would be Venusaur, Granbull, Sceptile, Fion, Meloetta, and Malamar, if we're using just the first 6. Moving on to Generation 7. And Gen 7 was actually the more superficial generation that I owned. I got Pokemon Sun and Ultra Moon. In case you guys are wondering, my good buddy Marcus actually got Pokemon Moon and Ultra Sun. The thing is, we had a little bit of an agreement that I get Sun and he got Moon, and when the sequels came out, he would get the sequel to my game, and I get the sequel to his game. So it just made sense. Anyways, on to the list. Favorite normal type of Gen 7, it was Oranguru. I don't know. I like this little guru of the orangutan variety. Oranguru just spoke volumes to me, especially since I got Ultra Moon. I'd love to see even more. And I don't know, also because I spent a long time looking for a shiny for it in Scarlet and Violet, and it was totally worth it. Anyway, favorite fire type, Gen 7. Although the Marowak, honestly, I liked it. The mother's ghost taking form of the fire at the ends of its bone just screams edgy teen to me. Like Cubo's trying to get vengeance for its dead mother. Favorite water type in all of Gen 7. That's actually very tough, but I'm gonna have to say Primarina. It's a very cool Pokemon, and it's actually the perfect one for speed runs. Not to mention it's one of the first water fairy types that we ever gotten. Because Gen 6 didn't have any Pokemon that were water type and fairy type, so we got that in Gen 7. Nice. Also good to get a Prima Donna Seal Mermaid type of Pokemon. Really cool. Favorite grass type, Do I even have to explain? They're an electric type, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Alola didn't really do well when it came to electric types. The Alola specific electric types are either legendaries, variants, or Pikachus. Though I guess to be honest, I guess I kind of like Charjabug. Its presence in one of the trials is probably the reason why I like it so much. And it's a cute little middle evolution that you have to keep for pretty much more than half of the game. Anyways, ice type. And you guys are probably expecting me to pick one of the ice types for the Kanto Pokemon, but no. I actually like Crabominable. It's an awkward fellow to be sure, yes, but who cares? I like it. It's adorable. It's based on woolly crabs, like woolly mammoths. That's the joke. Anywho, favorite fighting type. It's Passimian. But my love for Oranguru extends to Passimian as well, since they are counterparts and all. Favorite poison type? It was actually Naganadel. And yes, I'm pronouncing it Naganadel, not Naganadel as everyone keeps saying. It's Naganadel. It's a Naga, like a giant serpent thing. Even though it's not really based on a serpent, but who cares? Naganadel is just one of those Pokemon that I love so much. And also, I appreciate its shiny form. Its shiny form looks so good. It being based on actual Yellow Jacket. And I don't know, a giant space wasp just seems way cooler than I don't know, a jellyfish with no face. Favorite ground types. Palisand. Am I gonna explain? Not really. I really like Palisand. It's cool. Favorite flying type. I'm just gonna be upfront here. I like Minior. Minior's my favorite flying type. It's really cool. And I like the whole gimmick that it has 7 different color variations. And 8 if you count it shiny. Now my favorite psychic type. Honestly, I probably should have kept the Rangaroo for psychic, but who cares? Too late now. Favorite psychic type, Bruxish. Do I know why? Not really, but I kind of like the zany design. Favorite bug type. Now this is where some opinions may split or not, but I actually really like Araquanid. It was one of the first totem Pokemon that you fight in the Alolan games, specifically on the Second Island's water trial. And it's a moon exclusive battle, so that just makes it even cooler. I mean, sure, my friend Jackie might hate spiders and arachnids, but I like them. From a safe distance at the very least. And I'd like to argue that Araquanid is technically not a spider, even though it's based on a spider. Spiders have 8 legs, not 6. Anyways, rock types. And my favorite rock type, Lycanroc Dusk form, specifically. When the Dusk form was introduced, I was very, very happy that it was even shown as a possibility. When Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun came out, and this is a very fun story of mine, but I actually was sleeping for a while and I set my alarm to wake me up at 5 a.m. so I can get this evolution. Yes, I worked hard for this evolution. I didn't care. I got it. And it was on a school night too. Anyways, favorite ghost type. It'd be a crime if I didn't pick him. Decidueye is my favorite ghost type, and you all probably should guess why. I love Rowlet, and evolving to Decidueye was the best. Plus, it combines my 2 favorite types, grass and ghost, which yeah, you can tell this is probably my biggest favorite of all time when it comes to the Alola region. Up next, dragon types. There were a lot of dragon types to choose from. Okay, not that much as you can see here, but I really liked all the dragon types of Gen 7. They all had very, very vibrant and unique personalities. like Kuma-O, Alone Executor, Guzzlord being a glutton. But my favorite has to be Grandpa. I don't know, I kind of find myself drawn to the Grandpa Dragon. He reminds me a lot of Falcor from the Neverending Story, and I think that's probably the reason why I like him. Also, yeah, I think the first time I caught a Grandpa, I named it Falcor. I know, very original, but who cares? It looks like Falcor, and I love it. Also, the fact that its Pokedex actually states that it will burn a bully's house to the ground if a kid that's become friends with is bullied. Yeah, sure, because that's the way to solve your problems, with violence. Anyways, favorite dark type, Incineroar. Honestly, there aren't many options to choose from aside from variants. I kind of have to pick Incineroar here because well, it's an Alolan dark type for starters, and I actually did find some partial enjoyment playing as him in Smash Brothers. It was very fun to get those down throw to up B kill confirms. Very fun, I won't lie. Up next, Steel types, and and while it is a mythical Pokemon exclusive to a specific game, I really like Melton. It's a really cute little mythical Pokemon, and I like it. I like cute mythical Pokemons. Keep making them, please. Fairy types. There aren't too many of them, but of the ones that I would pick as my favorite, it's Mimikyu. Why would I not pick Mimikyu? It would be a crime to not pick the one and only Pika clone that isn't actually a Pika clone. Favorite starter, it's Decidueye. Why wouldn't it be? Favorite gimmick form? If I had to pick a gimmick form, I guess then my favorite one has to be Alolan Sandslash. It's a nice little gimmickal change to the Sandslash that we're all used to. Next, favorite legendary. And my god, is this a very tough pick. But it's kind of weird for me to not pick Lunala. I mean, it's a moon bat. It's a bat based on the moon. And if you're wondering, I got the Eclipse Eclipse Lunala event from GameStop. It was worth it. It's shiny, looks so cool. It's based on a blood moon. How could anyone not like it? And finally, favorite of all time in the Alolan region, it has to be Decidueye. I just love it and its entire evolutionary line. All right, moving on to Galar. Favorite normal type of the Galar region, or well, I guess Gen 8 normal type. But I'm gonna be limiting it to the Galar region because some of these are Hisuian and some of these are G-Max gimmick forms. My favorite normal type of the Galarian region has to be male Indeedee. I also give a close second to female Indeedee as well. Indeedee is just adorable, and I thought it would have some sort of pre-evolution, but no, it's just a standalone Pokemon. And I guess it's sort of the in-game, the replacement for Chansey, I suppose. Next, favorite fire types. And favorite fire type of the Galar region has to be Carkol. I like it. It's in their awkward middle stage, but I absolutely love it. The next, favorite water type. And oh my goodness, we have quite a few water types to choose from. But my favorite Gen 8 water type, honestly, it has to be Cramorant. It's a silly little bird. It's a silly little bird that sometimes has its prey in its mouth, and sometimes stuffs a Pikachu in there for some reason. I don't know. It's just a goofy bird. Favorite grass type, it's Grookey. Without a doubt, Grookey is just adorable. I love him. Now my favorite electric type, that has to be Toxtricity. I don't know. Toxtricity being one of the first electric poison types to ever exist. And honestly, it was an unused typing for a long time until Gen 6 came around. There are no poison electric types until... not Gen 6, Gen 8. Until Gen 8 came around. My god. Honestly, I guess I kind of do have a difficult articulating myself when I don't have any script, but you know, I don't like scripting these videos. I like being honest. I like talking about everything from a very obvious and very open perspective. And also want to give big shout outs to its shiny form. Its shiny form looks so sick, even though it changes very slightly. Anyways, ice types, Frostmoth. I like it. It's a very elegant Pokemon, and I would totally have one as a pet if I could. For fighting type, I'm going with Fallinx. Fallinx is just one of those Pokemon that nobody really thinks about, but I guess the more you look at it, the more really adorable it gets. Well, and yes, I know people pronounce it Phalanx, but I don't know. Phalanx doesn't really sound right to me. I feel like it should be pronounced Fallinx, like fall in links, like they fall in a link, as in a chain. They're a line. They fall in. You got the picture? Anyways, poison types. I get this is Gen 8, and since they are Galarian forms are a thing too, I'm gonna go with Galarian Slowbro. I don't know. I like Galarian Slowbro a lot. It's a very quirky look for the slow Pokemon, but you know, it's interesting. And favorite ground type? Honestly, Runerigus. I love it. It's cool. Now, favorite flying type? I probably had to say Corviknight. I don't know. I really like Corviknight. It's a cool metallic bird, and it's a knight. Favorite psychic type? This is gonna be a weird pick, but I like Orbeetle a lot. I feel like I'm the only person who likes Orbeetle, especially its Gigantamax form where it turns into a full-on UFO. Orbeetle is one of those Pokemon, another one of those Pokemon that you don't really think about much, but the more you do think about it, the more you kind of tend to like it. Or not, depending on your perspective. Yeah. Especially since you get it as a flip bug way early in the game. And speaking of which, favorite bug type. Favorite Gen 8 bug type, it has to be Centiskorch. I really like Centiskorch. It's cool looking. Kabu uses one, specifically its Gigantamax form, but I like Centiskorch. It also has a nice little rivalry with the Venipede line, and I like it. Favorite Gen 8 water type. Favorite Gen 8 rock type. Stonjourner. It's a very quirky Pokemon, and I like it. Ghost type. Honestly, this isn't even a choice. I like Cursula. It's very cool. It's just a dead Corsola, and half of its body's on the ground now. It's grim, but I love it. Favorite dragon type of Gen 8. That is a very tough choice, but I had to go with Appleton. It's just an endearing sweetie, and I could totally see it helping me make some apple pies. Specifically from the skin on its back, I think, because apparently children used to have that as a snack, and apparently it's delicious. Favorite dark type, honestly, Impidimp. It's one of the only fairy types out there that's not a cute little fairy, but it's actually an ugly little goblin, and I love him. Favorite steel type, honestly, Berserker. It's based on those things that Vikings of sorts, and my father is actually very interested in Vikings, and actually got me interested in Vikings too. And I love the Viking helmet. The design looks awesome, and Steely Spirit is a very powerful ability if used right. Next, favorite fairy type, and I'm gonna tell you this: it's Alchemy. After spending a long time in Pokemon Scarlet getting every freaking Alchemy form, yeah, you kind of tend to like this one a little bit. It's cute. Next, favorite Gen 8 starter, and this is honestly no contest. It's Rillaboom. I have a thing for all the grass starters, and Samurott, I guess, but the grass starters are all my favorites. Favorite gimmick form. Wow, there are a lot of gimmick forms for Generation 8. I have to say Galarian Articuno. I don't know, there's something about it that just gives it this posh and very, very in-your-face demeanor, like it's just glaring at you as if you're a peasant. And the psychic typing is a nice touch to replace the ice typing. Favorite legendary. Now a little thing. I actually got Pokemon Shield for my birthday. Yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield came out November 15th, my birthday, and I got it day one. So I was super happy when I got it day one. And that kind of shot Zamazenta as my favorite legendary of Gen 8. And now my favorite of all time. Oh, if I had to pick one of these to be my favorite of all time, it's actually a very tough choice because I liked all of Gen 8. But you know, if I to pick just one, no, not Frostmoth. I love Frostmoth, but my god, finding a shiny for that thing was so difficult. I guess my favorite one of all time probably has to be Galarian Articuno. I mean, I would have picked Alchemy, but my love for it is a bit more recent. And finally, we're up to Gen 9. Generation 9. Finally, it's Scarlet and Violet. This is going to be a very interesting one, everyone. And look, it's updated to Indigo Disc. That's amazing. Anyways, favorite normal type of Gen 9. I'm going to have to say it's Grafaiai. It's the first normal poison type to ever be introduced into the games, and I really like it. It gives me a Jet Set Radio kind of vibe, especially since I'm a big Jet Set Radio fan. Okay, next we have fire types, and to be honest, I really like Armarouge. It's pretty much gone as a joke as the Mega Man Pokemon, but you know what? I think that fits it to a T. Although I think its shiny form could use a bit of work, than just, darker eye color. But yeah, Armarouge is pretty cool, especially since I own Scarlet, I guess. Favorite water type, Finizen. It took us this long to finally get a dolphin Pokemon. Jeez. Finizen was the first look of a dolphin Pokemon, and it was actually a very adorable look. I like how it is. Although, honestly, its evolution could use more of a difference than just a heart on its chest. Finizen itself is actually super cute, super adorable, and the shiny is an oh so nice shade of purple. It took us this long to get a dolphin Pokemon, and it did end up being kind of disappointing, but when you kind of ignore it and look at Palafin's hero form, it's really cool. Makes it worth the evolution, I guess. Next, favorite grass type, and this is actually a very obvious one. I like Sprigatito. It's adorable. It's a cute little grass kibby, and I would do anything to own one in real life. Favorite electric type? Honestly, Palmy. Okay, not really. Palmy's not really my favorite one. It's Bellibolt. You guys know it's Bellibolt. Or it probably didn't. I don't know. Which, yeah, Bellibolt's my favorite electric type. Mostly because my favorite character, Iono, actually owns one. And yes, I like Iono more than Larry. Go ahead, fight me in the comments. I dare you. Next we got ice types, and it's very hard to choose which ice type I like the most, since all of them are pretty unique. But I guess I kind of like the Titan a lot. It's a unique land whale design, giving it the ice typing made it even more unique. And my goodness, it actually has the record for the longest cry in the game, the previous record holder being Jinx. Okay, next, fighting types. Annihilate. Do I even have to explain why? Favorite poison type. Revavroom. The first steel and poison type, people. Finally, a Pokemon that's an unused type. Favorite ground type. And honestly, I sometimes kind of forget that some of these Pokemon are ground type, but not Clodsire. Clodsire is the go-to ground type, and I love it as much as the entire community. But my favorite has to be Sandy Shocks. It's It's a magneton that's also a dinosaur, and I love it. Favorite flying type? I don't really know. I don't really have much love for the flying type, but I guess I'm gonna say Squawkabilly. Any of the Squawkabilly are good, but I like the white plumage more. Favorite psychic type? And you guys know me, I liked Giraffe Rig earlier, and you know I'm gonna love for Farigiraf. It's super cool, super big, super amazing, and a well-deserved evolution. Next, favorite bug type, and it's Slitherwing. I know, I like Slitherwing. I like Slitherwing more than the actual future Paradox Pokemon, and I even like it more than Volcarona, funny enough. It's a Volcarona that can't fly, so it has to go on a stroll. I dub it Stroll Corona. Okay, well technically MNGTV dubbed it Stroll Corona first, but I don't know. I kind of like the name. Favorite rock type? Cloth. It's a funny crap. I like the funny design. It also, is it just me or does Cloth look like a bad Nick from the Sonic series? Seriously, look back at it. It looks like Crab Me from Sonic. Okay. Anywho, favorite ghost type. My favorite ghost type, it's Houndstone. And the story of why it's my favorite is actually how do I say this? The story of why I like Houndstone is actually a very sad one. So I'm gonna get a bit sad for a moment. So earlier this year or last year, me and my mom had a dog. That was named Fifi. Fifi was given to us because the original owner wasn't able to take care of her, so we were taking care of her instead. And we had her for a very, very long time. But you guys probably know if you follow me on TikTok, or you've probably seen my community post about it. My dog Fifi passed away a couple months ago, and I missed her a lot. So one day, I was playing Pokemon Scarlet, right? And I ran into a little Greavard. But it was not just any Greavard, it was a shiny Greavard. Yeah, it was actually a shiny Greavard. I'm not kidding. And I caught it, and it was a girl. And I didn't want to not remember my dog, so I named this Houndstone I named this Greavard Fifi after my passed away dog, and lovingly evolved it into a shiny Houndstone. And yeah, Houndstone is pretty much my favorite of all time because of that, and it's how I can keep the memory of my dog alive. Plus the fact that, you know, Houndstone is a very well designed Pokemon, and I really love it for how well designed it is. But anyways, enough of me being sad. Let's go ahead and try to continue with the list. So, favorite dragon type of Gen 8. Honestly, it has to be Roaring Moon. It just looks super cool. I like it a lot. Favorite dark type of Gen 8. It's not too much of a weird choice. My favorite dark type has to be Meowscarada, a magician cat that is a dark type. But even though they could have kept it quadrupedal and make it a jaguar that's still grass dark type, but nope, they had to make it bipedal for some reason. Anyways, favorite steel type. It has to be Golden Go. I would say it's Golden Go, but that thing takes way too long to get, so instead it's Orthworm. Also, Orthworm also looks like a bad nick. It looks like the Caterkillers from Sonic the Hedgehog. Favorite fairy type. Favorite fairy type for me, Darkspun. I love it. It's cute. I would definitely own one in real life. Favorite starter, it's Meowscarada. Favorite gimmick form, Paldean Wooper. It's adorable. My favorite legendary. Oh wow, they even included the epilogue. My goodness, I didn't even know they included the epilogue. Okay, favorite legendary of all of them, it has to be Koraidon. And now my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon of all time, Oh my god, this is actually a very difficult choice, but if I had to choose between all of my favorites, my absolute number one favorite is Houndstone, for very obvious reasons. Alright, now that we finally got that out of the way, we can finally talk about the rest of the list. Being my favorite normal type of all time. And yeah, I'm heading all the way back. My favorite normal type of all time is Eevee. Favorite fire type of all time, it's Cyndaquil. I like it. It's cute. Favorite water type of all time, Fion. Favorite grass type of all time. All of these are so good. They're all so great. I love all of these grass types equally. But you know, nothing really beats your first. And Chikorita is my favorite grass type of all time. Favorite electric type of all time, Strika. Ice type, Frostmoth. Fighting type, Lucario. Poison type, Krogunk. It's just really cool. Ground type, Cubone. Flying type, Shaman Skyform. Psychic type, Chimecho. Bug type, Ledian. Rock type, Duskform Lycanroc. Ghost type, Houndstone. And you know, I'm keeping it shiny the whole way for consistency. Favorite dragon type of all time. Now this is a very difficult one for me at least, but my favorite one of all time has to be Goodra. Favorite dark type of all time, Malamar. Favorite steel type of all time, Berserker. Favorite fairy type of all time, Gramble, definitely. Favorite starter of all time, Decidueye. Okay, actually I'm lying, it's Chikorita. Why wouldn't it be? Favorite gimmick form of all time, Galarian Articuno. Favorite legendary of all time, Fion. And now, oh my god, my favorite Pokemon of all time. Gee, what could my favorite Pokemon of all time possibly be? Could it be Bulbasaur? Because of nostalgia? No, that'd be too obvious. Is it Meloetta? I love it, but it's not my favorite of all time. And technically, it's a tie between all of these. But I have to pick one of them. My favorite of all time is Gramble. Yes, even more so than Fion. I like Fion quite a lot, and I did beat all of Pokemon Sun with just a Fion. But let's face it, I like Gramble the most. And oh, wait, so then, let's see, click a team box, then a Pokemon from the grid to copy to the box. Okay, so I'm guessing my my final team would probably be Houndstone, oh wait, I keep, oh, wait, I'm running into some problems here. My team would probably be Houndstone. Okay, I can't make it shiny, thank goodness. Houndstone, Meowscarada, Gramble. Gramble is my ace, by the way. Okay, Malamar, Decidueye, and Fion. Favorite regional bird, even though the regional bird technically doesn't exist, because it was broken by Scarlet and Violet, but favorite regional bird is Pikipek. Favorite regional mammal, it's Centric. Okay. Regional bug, honestly, is Tarantula. Favorite pseudo-legendary is Goodra. Favorite Pikachu clone, if I had to pick a Pikachu clone, Mimikyu doesn't count as a Pikachu clone, just letting you all know. My favorite Pika clone is Pachirisu. Favorite evolution, Leafeon. Fossil, Kabutops. Regional form, Histilian Decidueye. favorite Gigantamax form, Arbodor. Favorite baby Pokemon, Riolu. Favorite box legendary, Koraidon. Favorite mythical, Fion. Favorite Ultra Beast, it has to be Xurkitree. Favorite Paradox Pokemon, oof. That's a very tough call, but Slitherwing. Definitely Slitherwing. Favorite type, Grass. My favorite Pokeball. Ooh, that's interesting. I like a lot of the Pokeball design, and I would say the Quick Ball, but I don't want to copy Mikey from MGTV. So instead, my favorite Pokeball is a Friend Ball. Favorite Spinda? I'm just gonna randomize and that's my favorite Spinda. Favorite Vivillon, this one. Favorite Alchemy, Matcha Cream Clover form. And favorite new evolution, Hydrapple. Oh, there you go. Now you guys know everything about my favorite Pokemon of each type of all time, and a few bonus things, because why not? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, and tell me your favorite Pokemon in each type if you want to as well. I'll leave a link to this in the description below. And be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. And I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never